Encouragement from the church to the street. The Lekeisha Mosley Show. The Lekeisha Mosley Show. The Lekeisha Mosley Show. And they talk about nothing but the unseen and unspoken issues while providing encouragement and love and understanding. She talks about issues that people in high places and influences are afraid to discuss publicly. Stay tuned. It's about to get real live. And you're tuned in to the Lekeisha Mosley Show.
What's up, family? Welcome to the Lekeisha Mosley Show. Featuring Lekeisha Mosley. What's up, Lekeisha?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Jerry?
Doing awesome. We so excited today. We got a special guest in the house, and he is in the house, and he called himself True Story. You ready for your interview?
Oh, yes. I'm ready to hear from True Story tonight.
Amen. Unfortunately, we won't be on Facebook Live right now, but it will be a replay, ladies and gentlemen. But you can tune in on Spreaker Radio. So we do want to shout out to those that tune in to Spreaker Radio International Podcast. Welcome to the Lekeisha Mosley Show. So here we go. Lekeisha Mosley.
Yes. Amen. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lekeisha Mosley Show. I'm so excited for my special guest, but first I definitely want to give justice due to Lekeisha Eternal, and she's amazing. She's the one that did my intro. I love acknowledging her because she's so awesome, and that intro literally lights me up every time I hear it. And I'm so excited for my special guest, and his name is Rodney True Story Hunter. He is a gospel hip-hop recording artist who is making transformational moves out here in the world right now today and changing lives and healing hearts. And we're going to explain just what he is doing on the show tonight. I'm so excited, you guys. And I want to introduce him right now. I know he's ready for me. Rodney, True Story Hunter, are you out there?
Yes, I am. I'm right here. How you doing today? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I am so happy to have you tonight. This is really exciting because you're doing so many transformational moves out there. Your music is really inspirational, and it's just so filled with your passion, and it has a huge story behind it. So I want to hear all about that. But first, I want you to let the listener audience know just a little bit about who you are and what you stand for right now.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me. My name is True Story. I'm here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a Christian rap artist. I thank God for having his way. I was once a mainstream artist. We all have a testimony. So I definitely went that road, tried that road, and anything outside of God will not work. And so I definitely yielded myself to Christ, and knowing that my mother used to always tell me, never be ashamed of your story, and never be ashamed of how your mother raised you. I'm a single mother's only child, so I can't be ashamed of how she raised me, the things that we faced, and the struggles that we overcame together. And I had no idea that my entire life story would lead me to this point that I would be able to tell the world my true story and giving God the glory. It has been nobody but him. I have to be honest. I have to tell you the absolute truth, and knowing that it was him that brought me through and brought me over. And that is really the hinge of my Christian rap experience.
That's amazing to hear because, just to hear that you're transparent about your story and wanting to talk about it. And I want to hear just how that became, because a lot of times, it's so true that, most influencers and artists are not really exposing themselves and talking about their story, So I just want to hear just where that passion came from, where you were bold enough to tell your story.
Well, it definitely came, that's pretty much my personality, bold and right up front, you know what I mean? So God always gives you, part of your personality that is so key to your purpose. And that's just always been me, bold and passionate about whatever I'm doing. When I was out there running the streets, I was livid and lit and passionate about that, you know what I mean? Paul, once God knocked me off my field, he knew that I would be just as passionate as I was saying, that I would be for him. And it came from my life's experiences. I couldn't shy away from it. Once I came to God and sat in front of a little stool and wrote my first Christian rap, I said, look, God, you know me. I've been running away from you for a long time, and I've done the full. But you know I don't play with you. I wasn't raised to play with you. I have to be totally honest. So if I'm going to put pen to paper, I have to be honest. And one thing he showed me was the cross, and he showed me how the nakedness of Jesus was such an shame to people, and to, like the Bible says, God had to look away himself and, for the shame, that the sin that he bore. And he said, this is how I want you to show your story, naked and not ashamed. Be honest, be open, be transparent, tell about your struggles, tell about your hardships, be able to relate to people. Look at Jesus on the cross. Bloody, everything is hanging out, he's shivering, everything. This is how I want you to present my gospel, so you can draw people in. And so when you do that, God says, you lift me up, then I'll draw all men. You do the lifting, and I'll do the drawing. So I had no choice. Consistently looking at the cross, consistently looking at my life story, and raised by a single mother with a physical handicap, and seeing her struggles and seeing her tears and her doubts and her fears and everything that she went through. And she taught me God. She taught me how to pray. She taught me the Bible in tears. So it had to. My whole life was just pretty much unraveled based on a true story. And that's why I named my album Based on a True Story.
That's phenomenal, because I just hear the passion in your voice, and it's so authentic and real, because so many of us really need to hear that in order for us to be bold. Sometimes you need to have someone that's, your platform alone. Sometimes you need to have that boldness that you give in order for me to be bold, right? In order for anyone else to be bold. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You definitely need that. Boldness is definitely required. Honesty is definitely required. I always put myself in the position of, if I didn't know him, or we have so many people that think, I've done too much that God wouldn't forgive me. Even in the church, I've done too much. I don't think he would. I might as well go ahead and backslide and go ahead and walk away. I don't think he would forgive me for this, and I just can't even expose this to him. And we all know God knows. But the relationship part is that you're telling him. That's the worship part, is that, I already know, but I want you to know. I want to see how much you love me and how much you adore me. Bring this issue, this horrifying issue, this horrible issue, this heartbreaking issue, this faithless issue, whatever it may be, bring it to me and let's talk. Jesus died for that relationship, that communication. And when that line is cut off, you just pretty much cut off from God. So I have to bring that to my music. It's without question. Even when I sit down to write, I'm having to some way or another expose myself. But it's great because I have a lot of people that send me messages via Facebook or wherever it may be, and they come through the inbox. So, some of them come through the inbox. They're not strong enough to come flat out, but they come in tears and they say, man, I needed that. I'm 60 and 70-year-old women saying the song I did, Weeping but Walking, and Tell Me Why on my album. They say, man, I so needed to hear that. I didn't know why God didn't answer my prayers, and my mama died, or my father died, and I prayed and I fasted and I said all the scriptures and they still died, and I scream to heaven right now after 20, 30 years later, tell me why. Still tell me why. And I'm so glad that you brought light and you exposed your pain and your passion, but you're still standing, with the mic in your hand. So that is an inspiration in itself.
That's so true, because, when you're bold, I'm able to be bold. And you just said something that was so positive and so amazing, because, you have someones, I should say, that are immature age. I always call it mature age, not old, and they're they're in an area of their life where things really were the same. It was just, to the T. It wasn't out of the box. It was just the norm. But you come with a boldness to be different, and to say, you know what, Jesus is different. Jesus came and he changed the world when he came on the scene, and he began to, do things different. And, the Pharisees didn't like it because it was different, right? It was just different. But, hey, he was bold about it, right?
Absolutely. He was very different. Yes, he was. He stuck out like a sore thumb. Jesus was very, he was confrontational. He was all of it. He was so different. That's one of my lead singles on my album, I Am Different. But yes, he was very different. And I had to sit and examine his life, say, man, this man started trouble wherever he went. But he really was. Oh, my goodness. Yes, he was. Yes, he was very different.
It's so awesome because, sometimes you do need someone with that boldness to come before you for you to change, for you to be transparent. And it's amazing that you said that because, we're getting ready to actually play I Am Different. And I just want you to go ahead and tell everyone just pretty much, where that came from. Where did I Am Different come from?
I Am Different came from, actually, I was sitting, that's the very first song I wrote on that album. And I was sitting listening to a previous song on a previous mixtape I did, which is pretty much a standout song that kind of put me on the map, I guess you could say, Steps of a Good Man. And I was listening to the song, and it is so my standout song. And at the very end of it, I'm just talking to God. We just away from the rap, away from the lyrics and bars and all. We just need to talk. And I'm expressing to him, Father, give me the courage to be different. And that just stuck. It just so stuck with me. And I said, you know what, I need to write something like that. I need to write about being different. If I'm coming out being based on a true story, what makes you different other than what's being heard and what's being said and what's being played? What makes, not that I'm trying to be different, how do you stick out? Looking at Jesus' life, how do you stick out? Just authentically, not just trying to do something or try to make something to make yourself different. And so I named it I Am. The great I Am. So it's not me, it's I Am. He's different. So that's why I am different. So that's pretty much why I wanted to capitalize the I and the AM and I am. So I can point you to him and not me. The I am is different. So that's it. And my whole backdrop for that song is really painting. I put a spin on scripture, and I put a spin on my music and my lyrics. I always have to paint the other side instead of we just talking about the woman with the issue of blood. I got to paint the struggle she faced, and she didn't have any money, and she was on her feet. We can see her posture, and she's crawling and touching the hem of his garment. What you going to do when trying to touch the hem of him? Look how far you've fallen. And I have to paint that picture. You know what I mean? I want to paint that picturesque in your mind. And that's what I did, and I Am Different. I just went completely against the grain. It's like I grabbed some clippers and went against the grain and cut to show you how I'm different.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm on fire right now just from that backstory of how I Am Different was created. It's so powerful. And true story, can you just go ahead and introduce this phenomenal message, I Am Different, so we can play this song?
Absolutely. This is your boy, True Story, from the double album based on a true story. The lead single, I Am Different.
You're listening to Royce Worldwide Podcast.
My Heavenly Father, I come to you with a broken spirit, doing my very best to stand up and to stand out, but many times in me standing alone, and you told me to be different, but let me tell you how that feels, Father. Preach to the pews like they people. Blood, sweat, and tears feed the lost and the beaters. No hugs, no cheers, still I'm walking with Jesus. His blood's been smeared, he paid the cost to be the leader. Serve till it hurts. The harvest is starving. The laborers ain't paid enough. His money over offers. I'm cautious of who I let cook my food. Feed me will feed you good beef stew. Free me to leave you, don't put me in a box. I'm unorthodox, I run my course on rocks. Cobblestone streets of my past, whole footprints that booked me in hell's jail cell. But the nails tell of my debt paid. With my hands raised, my arrest made me give a yet praise. This holy hip-hop, so you know where I stand. I minister my music no performance a day.
From the crowd, look alive. Call me out to tell the world he's all around. I walk this way, and I talk this way. I am different. From the crowd, look alive. He called me out to tell the world he's all around. I walk this way, talk this way. I am
Father, you told me to minister my music, but all the world wants is religious entertainment. Help me because I'm rejected, cause my message is effective. Power don't perform, so my songs are requested. Shout the book of Psalms, cause my poems are confessions. I found found me in his arms. To his point, I learned my lesson. Called to make a change. Music lost its influence. Performance overpowered. That's not the case with this music. Here the all flows. Wine pressed rhymes, that's food for your soul. Season and time tested lyrics of the Lord. I'm different on purpose. I fit in with the outcasts of chest beating churches. But temptation strong. Cold beats, hot songs. Catch you hook. Feature artists, Lord, how could I go wrong? Appeal to the masses and leave the hurting hungry. 12 songs, one hit. Who cares? They all know me. But God's disappointed. All the pain I came through, He gave me the mic, and this is how I say thank you.
From the crowd, look alive. He called me out to tell the world what He's all about. I walk this way, and I talk this way. I am different. From the crowd, look alive. He called me out to tell the world what He's all about. I walk this way, talk this way. I am different.
Amazing, everyone. This is
Thank
Lekeisha
you.
Mosley Show. If you just tuning in, and we have my special guest, Rodney True Story Hunter, with us. Wow. All I
Thank
can do
you.
is say
Thank
wow.
you so much. Yeah, from the music to the arrangement to the lyrics, I had to. If you go through the entire album, all the songs that I have on there, it does not sound like your normal Christian rap music. It really doesn't. From soulful songs to yes, to worship and praise songs, to Yes He Will, to the church. Oh my goodness, I send people to church on a song I got called Take Me to Church. Oh my goodness, with Crystal Lakin. But I Am Different is so special to me. It still is my leading single. Everywhere I go, people love it and want to hear it. You know, from the musical arrangements, from my passion and painting the, like I said, painting the picture of how lonely it is to be different, how painful it is to be different. I always have to show the flip side, because there's always humanity versus, divinity. You know what I mean? It's just, human trying to be divine as much as we possibly can daily. And so I always want to show that tension, that struggle. But that's where God's grace exists, right in the middle of that struggle.
That's exactly what my platform is, True Story. I'm telling you, it's just, you just spoke it just in your powerful words, because most people don't want to be bold about, being an outcast, just being different, and, you say it so smoothly, you know what I mean? And, you make so many of us feel like, that we're empowered, that we're not alone, that we're not the same.
Absolutely. I can't say unless I lived it. So that's how it flows off so easily, and everything. I have lived it. I've had to walk it. Is my calling to stand out and to stand alone. And it's sad that we live in a time right now, even the church, we live in a time where everybody wants to be like everybody, and I got to have all the likes and all the Facebook posts and all the support and all the friends and all the tweets, and I got to have it all. I got to have, and we want to sound like the world, and we were sent to change the world, not to sound like the world. So I definitely, that's one of my biggest pet peeves when I listen to so much gospel music right now. It's just I'm so immediately turned off when it sounds just like the people we were sent to change. You know what I mean? Be you not conformed, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that's something that we all have to do. And it comes with the boldness, because, yes, being different is going to be alone. You're going to be ostracized. You're going to be criticized. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. But look at the man on the cross. I mean, he was your perfect example. And he said, I did it, and I had to die for you to do it. So if I died for you, you can live for me. How do I live for you, Jesus? Just like this. And I searched the book and watch all that I went through, and I watch all that I faced. But look at the lives I changed. Look at the entire world. I turned the whole world upside down. And then I turned around and said, you will do more works than me. So I have to. That's just a must. That's based on a true story. If I'm gonna hold that name, I'm definitely gonna, make sure I state that claim, make sure I do it exactly how he has me to do it.
It's so true. It's so true. Oh my goodness, because, once you, realize that you are an anomaly, everybody is not the same. They're not going to be like you.
You're
They're
right.
not going to do it, right?
No, not at all. You are absolutely right. I was just in my car today. I was running some errands today, and I said, God, make sure that I'm so equipped with a discernment to know what's authentic and what's original, what's real, and to celebrate what you celebrate, and to point out what you point out, and whatever something that breaks your heart, let it break my heart. This is how close I want you and I to worship, and make sure my discernment is knife razor sharp, that I can spot in a bullseye hidden motives and hidden agendas in people's, thought process. And when somebody really has a genuine heart and a passionate heart for you, not from talent, not from gifts, not from skill, but if they have a passion and a love for you to grow into you, and point them out to me, and please do everything I possibly can to help them. So that's definitely something of being different. We don't have that. We don't have that. Everybody's trying to get over on everybody as far as the ladder, not over. It's just everybody's trying to get that next notch, and I got to get my name in lights, and we forget who we're supposed to be lifting up. And it's heartbreaking because the world is watching. They're watching, and they're watching, okay, this is how this Christianity, this is how you guys, oh, goodness. Girl, if I could send you all the inbox messages I've had, look, I would listen to Christian rap, man, but, man, the last 4 or 5, man, I seen how they act like this. I saw them in concert. I seen what they said, their character, their integrity. I don't care what you do on stage. What you do on stage can be just performance. But, your character and your integrity, that's what the anointing falls on. The anointing falls on the real person, not the one that you make up. So if there's no power and there's no anointing, then there's no impact. There's no impact. And if there's no anointing, if you haven't been broken and shattered in some place, and you have trusted God who broke and shattered you to put you back together so he can present to the world him through you, then it's all for naught. It's going to come to naught. It's going to come to nothing. It's all. I'm sorry. So that's just all about being different, all about my name. And yes, you're absolutely right. It is lonely. It is frustrating at times. Let me tell you the other side. I beat on walls. I scream at mirrors. Yes, I know, Lord, child. I'm not going to sit up here and say I got it licked. No, I don't. But I trust God with those areas. I trust God with going in the closet like, Lord, when? What am I not doing? What? All this, I trust him with that. And he said, bring all of that to me. When I told you to bring your cares and concerns upon me, that's what I'm talking about. All that stuff that you ain't want your wife to hear. I want you to bring it to me.
Yeah.
I can shoulder it. Yeah, I can shoulder it. So absolutely. That's definitely what I look forward to doing.
True story. That's so transparent because, a lot of us are like that, but sometimes we don't have the platform to speak up about it, because, when you said something that was so powerful, as far as, the healing process. The healing process starts when we're honest and when we're just let God just strip it all away. Mm-hmm. It just strip it all, and it ain't easy to get stripped.
Absolutely. You definitely have to be honest before him. And we all know he knows. I can remember without question the most painful experience of my life was when my mom passed 5 years ago, and I'm a single mother's only child. And I was like, God, I prayed, I fasted, I did all the scriptures, I did everything I knew to do and was supposed to do. And when I said, one thing that I had to learn to do, we'll know more than the scriptures, not the scriptures we quote, but the scriptures we live. We can quote scriptures all day, but the power comes from the scriptures you live. And I was quoting, not my will, but thine will be done. But I was really secretly believing, come on, God, you can heal Mama. Come on, I'm believing you heal her. And I really wasn't giving him, just cause to do what he wanted to do, whichever way he wanted to do. And that's a frightening feeling to walk by faith and you don't know what God is going to do. And so the healing process came in time. It's coming, day in and day out. And even though she's gone 5 years, and I had to really, drive down I-10 and coming back from hospital visits and crying so heavy and so hurt that I had to pull over in the middle of the freeway and sit there until my eyes could just unpeel so I could see the freeway. My eyes were so closed from such crying and migraines upon migraines. I was an absolute mess, months and months of it. But the only thing I can tell him as I beat on that steering wheel, and I told him, I said, Father, your purpose is more important than my pain. I said, this is your purpose, then you're going to have to keep me in the midst of this storm. I don't know how this is going to end up, but I trust that you will not leave me alone. That's the nakedness. That's the nakedness. I don't know. I'm lost. I want you to heal her, but now I'm at the point, if you heal her in heaven, then do it. But I know I'm saying this now, God, but I know the moment she's gone, I'm going to wish I didn't say any of that, but I'm being brutally honest with you. Here I am. This is me. My faith is on E, but I'm trying. I'm doing my absolute best to walk your will and walk your word. And that he said, he whispered to me, that's what I'm talking about. That's the true story. That's the truth right there. And so he really kept me. He broke my mirror. He shattered me, but he got on his knees and put me back together again, piece by piece by piece. And some of them pieces were sharp because I yelled and screamed at him. I didn't want nothing to do with him after Mom passed, and they were sharp. They were so sharp. But he stayed there. He stayed with me. He didn't leave me, and he kept me. So, that is where my music came from. You kept me in the midst of the darkest moment of my life. And so I stand for you. If you got any needs to put me back together, I'll stand for you.
That's amazing. I'm just really of no words because you're really speaking, just healing right now. I mean, there's people right now that are being healed. I am true story.
Absolutely.
You understand? There's so many people right now that are being healed because this is honesty. This is that when I close my door to go into my house, kind of,
Amen.
saying, and
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? And, no
That's
one's
right.
there and I'm back by myself and I'm crying my tears, trying to dry my eyes, to be professional, but then, it's hurt, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel that through, it's good for me. I feel that through, take me to the church. I feel that through, your music.
Absolutely.
and I feel that through all of your songs. It's so amazing. And, there's one song that you have. It's called Yes. I really want you to begin to tell me about this because I feel like that's a surrender song.
Ooh, yes, oh yes. Yes came from yes and yes you will. Really both of them hinged from no. No, you didn't. No, you did not. No, you did not. And many times, especially for a man, the biggest thing that we struggle with is disappointment. And we get a lot of no's and a lot of doors slammed in your face, and it don't look like anything is going to ever happen. It looks like your whole life is just a whole barrage of no's and no's and no's. And I had to get to a point. My wife jumps on me about this all the time. Say yes to yourself. Let's congratulate. Let's encourage yourself. Let's build yourself up. So yes really came from that. It was crawling out of that space of so many no's. The no's I was telling myself, the doubts and the fears that I had. And I had to come to a point that I speak over myself. You know what I mean? David said, when I'm broken, lead me to the rock. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna call no prayer partner. I'm not calling anybody. I have to encourage myself, and to encourage myself is to build myself up, to lift myself up, and to say, yes, you know what? Yes, you can, and yes, he will, and yes. And so I just stopped it right there. When I heard that beat, when I got that beat from Tone Jones, and shout out to Tone Jones, this guy has amazing music. And that's it. That yes, say, yeah, that's already in the beat. And so I said, oh my goodness, this is perfect. This is exactly what I really wanted to say. And I said, that's nobody but God to bring the exact beat with the yes in the background. So I called a great singer of mine, and she definitely agreed to be on it. She just turned that out, man. She did a wonderful job. And so that's basically where it came from. But writing it, I had to get to a point because I'm known for, going in. When I grab a pen, I gotta, rewind the tape and see what I've been through and see what I face and whatnot. But I had to bring it more celebratory. You know what I mean? Because many times we can forget to celebrate God, and many times we can forget that we out. You're out. You're out the struggle. You made it over. Stop recapping yourself and stop bringing yourself back to, no, bro, you made it over. Yes, you made it over. So it's time for us to celebrate. And many times that's what, that's the trick of the enemy, to steal your joy and to steal your praise, because that's exactly what he wants. And he don't want, even when you're out, he still wants you to feel like, no, I'm still in here and something's right around the corner and, oh my goodness, this ain't gonna last long. And you know what I mean? To bring up second guessing and doubt. So that's what yes and yes he will basically came from. I had to put that statement, that declaration, and to shout it. Yes, come on, believers, let's shout it. You made it through, or you coming through. It's not over with. Just stand and say it and speak it in existence over your life. So that's definitely, speak it till you see it, it come manifest in your life. So that's definitely where yes came from. It's soulful, it's heartfelt, it's passionate, it's me, but it's definitely a declaration. So it brings me out. It really, still to this day, it ministers to me.
Wow. Well, it's healing me right now, because this is that, song that you want to put on when you're in that dark place, when you want to close your doors and you feel like you're by yourself and you feel like there's someone there. You want to just say, yes, Lord, so he can really transform you and take you to a new place. Go ahead and introduce this amazing creation to our audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, it's your boy, True Story. Once again, off the same double album based on a true story. It is your song that'll bring you through and bring you along. Yes.
You're listening to Royce Worldwide Podcast.
All the tears, it was soaking. Still here, and I'm worship woman to the fabric of Christian rapping. So what's happening with no rerun? I'm once in a lifetime. When I'm gone, this lifeline, it still works. Soaked in his blood, still works. Hope of the church, still works. Thought that you heard, still works. And all that I serve, I can hear my mama say, don't tell me what they quote about him. Tell me what you know about him. Tell them what you wrote about him. Tell them what you've been through. Sunlight matter raised you. A prospect out the you mama's living breakthrough. This is what mama prayed for. This is what she held on for. She taught me, son, in the midst of it all, hold on to his unchanging hands. Mama, you did a good job. All by yourself.
I just wanna say, my broken heart says, my fire tested faith. I just wanna say,
stars shine bright. I tell you what I dream at night. Touching those I'll never know. Won't he do it? Show you right. Wandered in the wilderness for years. Thought he forgot about me. Lord, I thought they drowned me. I was lost, he found me. I write songs that tear you up, build you up, and they build you up. To survivors and riders and rivals, the God I serve won't give you up. The nails, yeah, that been through all the hell that I've been through. From the shelf I've been sent to those that failed and the fence. Check it out, I came back for it. This what he gave me what I asked for. I came with a past, don't fast forward, cause he made a good man from a bad boy. This place is personal. Every single time you cried, nights when hope was hurting you, yet his grace wouldn't let you die. Your reward for holding on is more than what you prayed for. God remembers tears that trickle down your cheek you paid for. This praise on this day. Holler at your boy, represent the stowaways and throwaways. Everybody right now that's lifting up their hands to help, knowing that them same hands caught tears, I want you to shout the victory. You made it through. No more tears, no more heartache, no more pain. You made it. I just wanna say, yes, 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 yes. I just wanna say. Me for. This is what he touched me for. Devil's a lie, it must be more. Going all out until I fall out or hold out. From the crowd I'm called out. This is why he brought me out. Single mother's only child. Mama, wave your hand in heaven. Let me know you feel this song. Till my last tear is gone. Doctor said you couldn't do it. Well, the proof
Royce Worldwide Podcast.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of Double XI.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming back to the Lekeisha Mosley Show with my amazing special guest, Rodney True Story Hunter. And we just finished listening to his amazing song called Yes. And I'm telling you, that is such an amazing song because it literally tells you to surrender and give it all to God. Our topic of our show is Level Up, New Direction. And it's talking about, when God takes you to a new route, do you believe he was with you? Is your journey amazing? Is it what you wanted it to be? And when you're doing what God has for you, it's always amazing. It's always what you want it to be. Isn't that right, True Story?
Absolutely. Thank you once again for having me. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. The journey is exactly what he wants to produce in your life many times, as we always know that our plans are never God's plans, and we have to learn that the hard way many times. But
Yes.
the surrendering is still, being able to surrender to God's will and to do what he's calling you to do. It takes a lot of courage, but knowing that he's with you in the hard places, in the struggling places, that he hasn't left you and he hasn't forgotten you, is one of the greatest things that you can ever experience, with God, is knowing that your prayers are going higher than the ceiling. You know what I mean? When you feel like you're not getting any answers, or he's not responding, or people are passing, feel like life is passing you up, people is passing you up, he's still with you even in those places. And sometimes he has to cause you to feel that way so he can test your faith and to strengthen up your faith and to let you know when it's all said and done, I will never leave you, never forsake you.
Wow, that's amazing because, we needed to hear that. I totally appreciate just how you completed this amazing time tonight just by inspiring everyone out here in the listening audience, because sometimes we feel like we are alone, and you literally just proclaim that we aren't alone, and not only God is with us, but he is carrying us through our storms and through our, issues in life, right? So please let our listening audience, please let them know how they can connect with you and stay in touch with you and your new music and your new projects.
Absolutely. My music is found on all media outlets, from iTunes to Spotify, Google Music Play, wherever you can find it. Reverb Nation is there also, based on a true story being one word. The T and the S is pretty much capitalized in that. So it's basically found there as far as your media outlets. You connect with me on all the social media sites, from Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. My Facebook Live fan page is True Story Sounds, and also my Instagram and my Twitter is True Story Sounds, also at True Story Sounds. So you'll find me on all the social media sites. So definitely connect with me. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's chat. If there are any artists out there, I would love to sit and talk, and we can sit down and talk about music, lyrics, and we can also get away from that table. Sometimes we just want to get away from that table and be men and just talk about Christ, or just be men and talk about whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So many times artists always feel they have to always talk about music, and it's not about that. It's about fellowship. So that's where you can connect with me. Definitely, I would love to talk to many more artists or many more saints of God. So please connect with me as soon as possible.
This is awesome. I am so appreciative of you being here with us tonight. Thank you so much for being on the Lekeisha Mosley Show. And definitely, if you have any new music and any new projects coming up, I would more than love for you to be on our show again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I definitely want to acknowledge my lovely wife, Keisha Hunter, who has been my rock, my strength, my tissue, my encourager, my push, my belt, whoop me, keep on going, don't quit. So she has been everything you can only imagine. And so I definitely want to shout out my wife. I promise you, once Mama passed, and her last words was I stayed here as long as I could to make sure you were in good hands. So you definitely in good hands with your wife, Keisha, so now I can go on to heaven. And that was literally her last words. So I have to make sure that I give acknowledgement, full acknowledgement to my wife. I love you, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Family first. That's what we're all about. And I'm so grateful for, you and everything that you represent. Definitely, you guys, we're going ahead, to the next segment of our show, and it's called Lekeisha's Love Letter. And Lekeisha's Love Letter is a healing and encouragement and empowerment time for you to reflect on what God has for you. And Lekeisha's Love Letter this time is going to focus on Acts, chapter 9, and it's really focusing on chapters 1 through 19, but it's really just talking about, the entire chapter, and it's really focusing on the road to Damascus. If you think about this is a time where Paul, transformation happened for him on that road of Damascus. And, Paul really, he was Saul actually first, and he was on a mission. And we already know what that mission was. He was on his mission to take care of the Jews. They were in his way. He was getting ready to, torment them again and take them out. That was his goal. That was his purpose at that time. But he had an encounter with Jesus, and he, was able to really just see, who he really was. And it was just a transformational time that, I believe that in his mind, he had no idea that he was going to encounter. But now I believe that when he thinks about that time, he realized that, wow, this was just a due time for me to encounter my Lord and Savior. And a lot of times, when we reflect on Damascus and we reflect on, just those roads that we go on, when we encounter Christ, we don't realize that he's with us all the time, that he's always looking at us and everything that we have, and he's always in tune with what we're doing. And he's not focusing on the bad. A lot of times we're looking at what's bad and we're looking at what's, not right. And we're saying, God, how can you use me? Look at my past. Look at this. Look at my present right now. I don't even like looking at it. I'm ugly. I'm dark. Why would you even want to use me? Are you serious? You must got the wrong person. But Jesus is intentional with his love for us. And, when Paul began on that road to Damascus, when he began, that journey, he had no idea that he was going to see the love of Christ and that he was going to be able to go from that point and become a true apostle for the Lord Jesus Christ. And his story, he took it with him, the dark, the deep, the ugly, and he began to put it in front of him. And he says, listen, if God can use me, he can use you too. And I love his story because it's showing just what we've been talking about tonight, that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you've been, but God always has you in his light, and that it doesn't matter how your story started, but it's all about how it ends. And it ends well, and it's transformational, and it's healing souls. That's what it's all about. It's about making Jesus famous. And I want to encourage everyone out there to understand that everything that you're going through, everything that you went through, is all in your story. And it's all in order to make Jesus famous. And it is going to show others that, you know what, if you can do it, I can do it too. So be bold, know that your story matters, and know that everything that is within your reach is meant to be. And know that you are called and you have a purpose. I love each and every one of you guys tonight. I want you to have a blessed and amazing evening. And I want you to always know that in everything you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and love always. Have a great evening.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of Double XI.
Positive Power 21.org. Internet radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast. My Heavenly Father, I come to you with a broken spirit, doing my very best to stand up and to stand out, but many times in me standing alone, and you told me to be different, but let me tell you how that feels, Father. Preach to the pews like they people. Blood, sweat, and tears feed the lost and the beaters. No hugs, no cheers, still I'm walking with Jesus. His blood's been smeared, he paid the cost to be the leader. Serve till it hurts. The harvest is starving. The laborers ain't paid enough. His money over offers. I'm cautious of who I let cook my food. Feed me will feed you. Good beef stew. Free me to lead you. Don't put me in a box. I'm unorthodox. I run my course on rocks. Cobblestone streets of my past. Hold footprints that book me in hell's jail cell. But the nails tell of my debt paid. With my hands raised, my arrest made me give a yet praise. This holy hip hop, so you know where I stand. I minister my music, no performance a day.
From the crowd, look alive. Call me out to tell the world he's all around. Walk this way, and I talk this way. I am different. From the crowd, look alive. He called me out to tell the world he's all around. I walk this way, talk this way. I am
Father, you told me to minister my music, but all the world wants is religious entertainment. Help me because I'm rejected, because my message is effective. Power don't perform, so my songs are requested. Shout the book of Psalms, because my poems are confessions. I found me in his arms, tears torn, I learned my lesson. Called to make a change. Music lost its influence, performance over power. That's not the case with this music, here the all flows. Wine pressed rhymes, that's food for your soul. Season and time, test the lyrics of the Lord. I'm different on purpose, I fit in with the outcasts of chest beating churches. But temptation strong, cold beats, hot songs. Catch you hook, feature artists, Lord, I could I go wrong. Appeal to the masses and leave the hurting hungry. 12 songs, one hit, who cares? They all know me, but God's disappointed. All the pain I came through, he gave me the mic, and this is how I say thank you.
from the crowd, look alive. Call me out to tell the world he's all around. Walk this way, and I talk this way. I am different. From the crowd, look alive. He called me out to tell the world he's all around. Walk this way, talk this way. I am
omnipresent all around me. When I am lost, you come and guide me. Third one in the Trinity, my comforter, Holy Spirit. Descend like a dove over water, baptize me in your love. Make me over, shifter of the atmosphere. my counselor, Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
Holy Spirit,
Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
everlasting, always faithful. When I'm in doubt, you're more than able to show me the way out. Director, Holy Spirit, you can make a way out of no way. You bring me back home when I'm astray. You brighten up my day, my everything, Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
Holy Spirit,
Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
like a mighty,
Mighty rushing wind, let your presence blow within, like an all-consuming fire. Let our hearts burn with desire,
oh yeah,
like a mighty rushing wind.
let your presence,
Let your presence blow within, like an all-consuming fire. Let our hearts burn with desire, like a mighty rushing wind.
let your presence
Let your presence blow within, like an all-consuming fire. Let our hearts burn with desire, like a mighty rushing wind. Let your presence blow within, like an all-consuming fire. Let our hearts burn with desire. Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
take control.
Holy Spirit, manifest your power, move among us, well of living water overflow. Holy Spirit, take control.
Now that the storm
All right, what's up, family? What's going on? Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Late Night with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide and my co-host, Shay Samuels. Welcome, y'all, to Positive Power, XXI Christian Media. Worldwide, baby. All right, we're streaming out the Spreaker Live International. If you need that link, let us know. We had a little difficulty, family, with Facebook Live, but we okay now. I had to use my phone. Batman had to be creative. That's right. This is where we used to broadcast. That's right. So I know y'all looking at my studio right now. I know I didn't vacuum. Don't talk about my carpet. But we live, y'all. That's the main thing. All right? And my phone is not plugged with electricity, so it could go out. It's all good. But we got audio. All right, let's bring Shay Samuel so she can get this awesome interview going. Hey. What's up, Shay Samuels? What's up?
What's up, Jerry Royce, a.k.a. the Batman? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Did you give me a mic check on Facebook Live? Because my tablet kind of...
Mic check.
No, did you check it on your phone, the live broadcast? Could you hear me?
I'm on my iPad. Well, okay. I couldn't really hear you on the, it was going in and out.
Oh, okay.
I'm on there now. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll rebroadcast it later. It's all good. All right. Well, we got an exciting guest tonight. We got Shannon Stewart. She's the wife. Well, I know you got the bio, but I know her husband, Willie Stewart. We've been working with Willie going on about, I'd say, 4 years now. Been a long time since I had him on the show. Yeah. What a testimony. We got to get him back.
Yeah, he's
powerful.
He's
guy.
actually he's a good marketer too. I sent a friend request so that I can get a chance to know. Well, it's a little confusing because his says Willie and then Shannon in parentheses. So I'm like, wait, it's her first name Willie, and I'm like, oh, that's her husband.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got it.
That's her husband. So.
Yeah, he got that on lockdown. So how was your weekend? You have a good weekend?
I did have a really good weekend. I got a chance to, outside of Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm not a Super Bowl person. But I'm here in Atlanta, and I wanted to try to experience some of what was going on, and guess what? I didn't.
Yeah. It was quite a game.
I didn't.
It was quite a game. I don't
really know about the game.
Since you don't know that much about it, I'm just going to say this about it. I always thought that the championship games, when they play within their own conference, are better to me. Like when the Patriots play the Steelers or they play the Ravens. I always thought, or Kansas City Chiefs, I thought that was a way better game when the Patriots and Chiefs played. And even on the other side, when the Rams played the Saints, that was a way better game. When you bring those two conferences together like that, the games are they always lopsided. Always live. I never seen a game that boring before. I went to a party.
Why do I keep hearing it?
Look, I went to a party and they were actually playing this game where you throw the ping pong ball in a cup of water. That was more interesting. I was ready to play myself. Yeah, I mean it was crazy. It was on a 6-foot table and they were playing couples. Now I didn't have a teammate because my wife had to tend to her dad. Her dad wasn't feeling too well, so she couldn't hang out. But I got a chance to watch. I was ready to bet some money on one couple. They were hot. They were doing their thing. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was so funny. But it was great networking.
And that's the light of your light.
Yeah, but I mean, it was some great networking because the lady who hosts the party, she's actually, she's a top 40 singer, but she's actually looking to get into gospel or Christian music. She does sing Christian music for her church, and I was like, wow, you need to be recording. So I tagged her, introduce her to Samuel Brown, so hopefully a relationship would develop and we can get her here in studio because she's right here, right outside of Owens Mills, and powerful singer. I remind you a lot of Amanda Lynn, but she does a lot of what's that artist's name? To sing Rolling. Gosh, I forgot the name of the song. I forgot the name of the artist. I haven't heard the song in so long, but she sing. Oh, I know, the British lady. She's kind of disappeared for a moment though. Just had a baby, won a lot of Grammys.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, just it's been a minute since I've seen her. But anyway, she sings a lot of her songs too. But anyway, yeah, other than that, the weekend was great. We had Zenobia. Zenobia Sampson was here Saturday with her actress, some actors and actresses from her stage play, because they actually rehearsing for a comedy stage play that was created out of the mind of I think Dr. Newsom. It was a story he had told. So they put that thing together, and she wrote it, and they rehearsing right now. So I think the play gonna be ready for production in April, I believe. So I'm looking forward to it, because I think we're actually gonna film that. I think Drew and I are getting back into recording stage plays again. You know, that's how we started out. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see. Well, you're already doing the short films, kind of. So,
Yeah.
Dirty Diana.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it, just not to the capacity maybe you were doing it before, but you've been in the game.
Yeah, yeah, man. And then we got some other. Now there's more actors besides me and Sky. I had Sky doing the acting. she was Dirty Diana. So anyway, that movie is actually completed. I just have to do my part. That's all I'm waiting. I wasn't planning to release it out to social media yet. I was actually going to shop it around at some film festivals, because it's going to be really good. I have some great people that gave testimony. I think it's really heart wrenching stuff, because people actually lost their life behind diabetes. I mean, these are people who are no longer with us. I know it's a lot of people don't really take it that serious. They drift into the doctor. The doctor tells them this and they do that. But I mean, I have friends who lost toes, and mostly I had three great friends. Well, a childhood friend, which was my cousin, my first cousin, who was like a brother. They lost their lives to it. So the movie is kind of special.
Being in the medical field, I've witnessed that too. Amputations, a lot of amputations. Yeah. Older. I've only seen a couple of young people, but yeah, they need to take it a bit more seriously.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So that film is very, very important to us. You know. So we taking our time on that, and then at the same time, I've been picking up some other skills, editing movies and everything. So it was a little bit we had to learn, because, like I said, we come from a stage play. That's how we start out doing live concerts with gospel artists, and then transition ourselves into motion pictures. So that was a little transition for Jordan and I, So we're gonna be excited to be working with Zenobia and her team, and get them coming here sometime and do some other type of, because I think right now we're looking at doing a lot of public service announcements on domestic violence, because we're just starting to find out that is so humongous in our society, our culture.
Yeah, our culture. But there's so many different levels of. Well, domestic, of course, there's physical, but the one thing that I think we don't really think about, too, is verbal abuse and emotional abuse and things that we go through. And that's a whole nother, that might be like a Christian party line talk. Yeah. But there's so many different levels that men and women go through. And we don't know the signs, because we're not taught. We're not taught that way. We are taught to kind of let everything go by the wayside. Everybody in the household dealt with it. And, we just don't. So I've learned a lot over the last year, the last few years, really, dealing with it causes a lot. So that might be Christian party line talk.
Oh, yeah. You guys might have to look at that. I guess we can figure out a way to get Brandon to write that inside some of his comments. And I think he's probably going to be going
Brandon,
there.
Listen to it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be going there real soon. And I have a chat with him, see if we can pull some scripture and go at. And I think Domestic Violence Month is when, in October? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. It's October. Yep.
Yeah. So we don't have to wait till then. This is a subject that needs to be ongoing. So shout out to Zenobia Sampson. She is so excited. I think she actually lost sleep Saturday into Sunday, because she actually wrote another piece that we're probably going to be shooting real soon. And it's a learning experience for her too, because you're talking about a person who does stage play that's moving into motion picture. So yeah. And then we're trying to do as much as we can on the green screen too, until we start getting into a set. I guess we'll figure that out, because I think we're going to look at trying to get go back to the the community college have excellent theaters. They have like 2 theaters that's out of this world, and we're gonna probably try to get in there and get a live audience and shoot the stage play. So that's gonna make sense. Because I love this stage because it's only like 6 or 7 inches off the floor. You know how some of them are high, and then you can't really move your cameras around, so we don't have to touch the stage to be able to get a nice shot. So that's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna be meeting on that and guess looking at some sponsors and some investors and stuff like that. So people, you want to have some fun with your money, talk to me. Batman talk to you. Get your name in lights, man, because we're gonna do this thing real big. You talking about on demand, beautiful platform that we have for on demand, and then I have a lot of TV executives that's been hitting us up that's interested in our television productions anyway. So it's an opportunity for this thing to be streaming on Roku and Apple TV. So we can talk with a number of executives interested in some of our work. And also, we working with a television station in Maryland that actually has a huge television station that's part of a foundation. They always looking for great projects for the community. By me being a producer living in that community, we have access to and they told us our work, they already screened our work, so they told us that we have unlimited airplay. So it's just a matter of me getting to work. So we're going to be looking at shooting some live concerts real soon with some of the, so they have some award-winning artists like Carlessa Beach is from that area. And so we're going to be bringing in some more independent and some choirs. Their choirs are they travel the world. So
choirs and quartet.
Yeah, that's right.
They love to they're like the busiest group of people. Yeah, they're always doing something. Choirs and quartets.
That's right. There's a lot going on for them. And also, real quick, we got something going on. Zenobia and Lekeisha and I, we're going to be hanging out with John Gregory Graham, his group Odyssey. They're going to be releasing a CD on February 10th. So if you're an artist and you want some television exposure, we're going to be doing interviews that we actually going to be airing in DeKalb, Georgia, on Channel 25 out there. I think they live on their website, but they also stream it. They stream on my bad. They actually on Infinity, Comcast Infinity, and a digital network. So that'd be exciting for you. Come on out and join us on February 10th. We give you more information, or you can go out to John Gregory Graham. Go out to his Facebook page. His flyers all over there. All right, that'd be nice. Come on out and meet Lekeisha Mosley and Zenobia Sampson. They my broadcasters. All right.
I'm gonna have to stop through.
That's right. Stop on through. And also, Anthony Avery is launching his CD release party. I believe his party is on, I'm going to guess and say March 10th, but it's in March, and that's going to be here in the Baltimore area. And he's looking for vendors and everything. So reach out to Anthony Avery. That's going to be exciting. We're going to be set up. We have our table going to be set up. You come on out and meet us and talk to us about, getting on television. All right. And don't forget, y'all, we on My Journey with Paula G. We're actually looking for some exciting artists that they can open up her show. We open up her show with live concert footage, and a lot of that we shoot right here in our studios, but also we do shoot at other events too, like the Newsom Awards and places like that. So you can find us at those kind of events. And that's coming up real soon. The Dr. Newsom Awards is going to be coming up. He has a couple other awards coming up before his 24th, which is held here in Baltimore. So you want to reach out to Dr. Fred Newsom to find out how you can become a performer. All right. So that's what we got. I think that's everything. Don't forget WATC.TV. Check out Paula G. Thursdays at 11:30. You can hear her show streaming live on WATC.TV or any of their Connect TV networks. Or download the app, WATC. Look for WATC2. And also on Sundays at 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, that's it. So you ready to talk to your guests now? You guys can go have fun. What's up, Miss Shannon? There she go.
Hi, how are you guys?
Awesome.
Hi,
So
Shannon.
excited.
It looks like you were having some fun tonight.
Yeah.
A little bit of fun, yeah.
I was at Bahama Breeze tonight.
Ooh, I missed that place. They closed it up in Baltimore. It was in Towson, Maryland. They moved it somewhere and didn't tell nobody where. Love that place.
Oh, this one was on the causeway on the water. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Really nice with a live band. We had a good time.
I bet you did. Last time we
It
went.
looked like it was outside.
Yeah,
Did they
look
have
at that.
outside seating?
Yeah, it was really
I love
nice.
it.
Yeah, Bahama Breeze, they do it up because we go to the one in Orlando now. They always see us when we visit Orlando, so that's really nice. All right, well, Miss Shannon, I know you're here to talk about your book and your book Grief. I didn't get a chance to read it. My sister took it, so I'm gonna have to get it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, I had it laying in the kitchen, so I'm gonna go read it. Let me go read it. Next thing you know, oh, what's this? Bam. All right. So we'll get it back. Anyway.
Really, Grief it's a short story that I wrote. It's like it's a take on the 5 different stages of grief that we typically go through during different times in our life. And so I kind of sensationalize each stage to kind of make it entertaining and keep people's attention. Then at the end of it, I kind of give a little education based on my white coat woman persona.
All right.
But we don't want to spoil the info for.
Yeah, don't tell everything yet. Yeah, Batman got to get off the line. Let me get off the line first. Yeah, Shay's going to interview you. I'm just saying hello. All right. Well, look, tell your husband
Thanks
hello.
for having me, by the way.
And we got to get him back. You know, we get him back on the show. I know he got a lot going on because we haven't talked to him in 4 years. So we got to get him back.
Wow.
All right.
4 years?
Yeah, it's been that long. It might have been long. I think when I talked to Willie, I think we had just got off the ground. So that might have been around 2014, 2015 when we last talked to him. I mean, we tag each other and like each other on Facebook, but we haven't, been on the radio together in a couple of years now. All right.
Oh, okay.
We'll make that happen real soon. All right, you guys have a great show. Batman's out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Miss Shannon. It is a pleasure to be able to interview you tonight. I am Shay Samuels, your host for the evening, and I'm ready to have a good time. But I was saying that I was looking at your pictures. I always go online and try to do some research on the people that I'll be interviewing, and I need to tell you how gorgeous you are. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
At first, I was like, this looks like Sanai. Is it Sanai Lathan?
Uh-huh.
Do you get that a lot?
Sanai Lathan.
Uh-huh. Do you get that a lot?
No, you're the first I've heard it from, but thank you. I love her.
You have a twist. It's like Jada Pinkett with hair and Sanai.
Thank you so much.
And Sanai. So I was looking at the pictures tonight and I said, oh, and she's fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then I looked at the time and I said, is she going to make the interview? Because it looks like they're having way too much fun. I wouldn't want to.
We were having an awesome time.
I wouldn't want to leave. We do have a Bahama Breeze here, but everything's on the inside. Are you in Florida?
I am in Florida.
Okay, so yeah, you got a little lucky. How was the weather there today?
The weather was nice. I'm in Tampa, Florida. So I live in the Wesley Chapel area, but the weather was in the 70s, so it was perfect. And the view was perfect, so everything was nice.
Yeah, it looks like it. You guys you had some fun. So shout out to your family. You were with your family, and I love how much fun you all have together. Oh, my goodness. I just did a show, one of my shows on Saturday or Friday, and we're talking about family, just bringing family time back with one another because we're losing it. We are all so busy walking out our purpose and working that we don't get a chance to get that time. So I applaud you all for even taking time out on a Monday to get that in.
Thank you.
So we're going to get right to your book. And I heard a lot about the book, and I did try to the front cover actually interested me. So I'm going to ask about the front cover. But for the viewers and the listeners who are just joining us.
Hello?
Oh, it looked like she dropped. All right, let's take a music break real quick, Shannon, and she'll dial back in. Okay. I have her on a special code, so she might have had some issues. All right, y'all, we're going to listen to, matter of fact, this was a guest that was just on the show, and his songs are awesome. This guy, he called himself True Story, and this one is called Yes, featuring Dre.
Mama, you did a good job, all by yourself.
I just wanna say, my broken heart says, my fire test is fading. I just wanna say,
lonely stars shine bright. I tell you what, I dream at night, touching those I'll never know. Won't he do it? Go you right. Wandered in the wilderness for years, thought he forgot about me. Lord, I thought they drowned me. I was lost, he found me. I write songs that tear you up, build you up, and they build you up. To survivors and writers and rivals, the God I serve won't give you up. The nails, yeah, that been through all the hell that I've been through from the shelf. I've been sent to those that failed and the fifth still. Check it out, I came back for it. This what he gave me what I asked for. I came with the past, don't fast forward, cause he made a good man from a bad boy. This place is personal. Every single time you cried, nights when hope was hurting you. Yet his grace wouldn't let you die. Your reward for holding on is more than what you prayed for. God remembers tears that trickle down your cheek you paid for. This praise on this day. Holler at your boy. Represent the stowaways and throwaways. To everybody right now that's lifting up their hands to help, knowing that them same hands caught tears, I want you to shout the victory. You made it through. No more tears, no more heartache, no more pain. You made it.
I just wanna say, yes, yes.
All right, Shay. So is that you, Shay? You
That's me.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's always some technical difficulty when it comes to
You're in. Yeah, you're
just,
in.
That is just technology. That is just technology. There's always some technical difficulties, especially when it comes to me. Jerry will tell me about my phone. He'll say, I forget what kind of phone he says I have, but he knows if it's not, he says T-Mobile,
phone.
I think is what he says. That T-Mobile.
You got a track phone.
Is that right? A track phone. That's what it is. It goes that track phone.
Oh,
no. But thank you so much for bearing with me. And I have to give a shout out. Jerry, you wouldn't believe I got to give a shout out to David Benton because we work so fast. My line cocked out. So I had to literally figure out what to do to get back on the line. But that's the behind the scenes work. So everybody knows you got to do what you got to do. And so I could not make you wait because your time is valuable. And Jerry, this is his time off. So it's let me do what I got to do. So shout out to David Benton for getting me back on the line. But I was asking you if you could go ahead, for the listeners who are just coming on and the viewers who are looking on Facebook Live, Shout out to your husband as well. Awesome marketer. I hear that he's your manager. And as soon as I sent the friend request, he was already on it. Boom, 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 boom. And he got everything I needed. So I appreciate that so much. But if you are just joining us, this is Shay Samuels, co-host tonight for the Jerry Royce Live Worldwide, a.k.a. the Batman. And I am with my guest, Miss Shannon. And she's going to be talking a little bit about her book. And so, yes, hi to the Facebook viewers and Spreaker Radio. You can get this on Spotify and I think also on YouTube. But let the people know a little about who you are, and then we're going to get into the book.
Okay. Well, I am a critical care registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 17 and a half years. I hold a CCRN certification that out of maybe over 3,000 registered nurses in the United States, only about 3% hold this, 3 million, only about 3% hold this certification. I'm also an executive of Too Much For You Global Entertainment, and it's an independent record label and publishing company that I have with my husband. And I'm currently growing my brand as an Instagram and social media micro-influencer under the branding of Daredevil, Bama Girl, and now just recently White Coat Woman. I'm a writer. As you know, I just published my first book, Grief, and I'm working on other books. And I'm hoping that kind of growing my brand will allow me to bring more eyes to, like, pressing issues surrounding caregivers and disabled, since I'm a caregiver in my professional life as well as my personal life, because my husband, he's a 100% disabled veteran.
And is that what got you into, were you already a nurse before you married, or is that how you got into the medical field?
Actually, we're both nurses. We actually went to nursing school together 17 years ago.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So you guys took the medical field, and now you guys are doing what you do now, and it just continually works. You guys just work it out.
We do.
Amen. So tell us a little bit about the book. Now, I'm personally interested in the cover. I love how you depict so many different emotions on the cover. And if people didn't just read the word, is it Grief? Is the book's name? The book title is Grief.
Grief. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, see, I did my homework. So you have so many different photos on there that depicts a level of emotion. How did you come up with that cover?
Well, I really wanted a cover that kind of reflected people of different nationalities and different races, and I just wanted it to show, like, different people in different stages of grief, you know, different versions of people looking like they're in different stages. I also have a book trailer. It's a visual depiction of everything that you see on the cover as well.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. We're going to put that up on the Facebook Live for people to get an opportunity to see the trailer as well. And so what inspired you to write the book?
I've written a lot of books. I have a lot of stories kind of floating around in my head, and I've started and stopped like over a dozen. I just never had the desire to just completely finish one until I saw my husband kind of doing the same thing, but he finished his. And so it's just when he gets a writer's block, he moves on to where his creativity takes him, and that's the kind of method that I'm using now, just keep writing. And so I'm hoping that I'll have a lot of productivity coming up soon.
From what I hear, once you start writing, it's like tattoos. Once you get one tattoo, you have to go back and get more. But once you start writing, it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. Now, do you think that you'll stay in the realm of the medical field or education on, what is it, like health and behavioral health possibly, or do you think you'll stream off into like life books, coaching, teaching?
Well, my creativity is kind of all over, and I'm more interested probably in life books and teaching across the lifespan. My next book series is going to be focusing on children and teaching children life lessons. So I'm just kind of wanting to expand.
I love it. A girlfriend of mine actually has 3 children who have published probably 6 books each. and their books are, you can look them up, Fennell, shout out to Janae Fennell, but they're Fennell Enterprises, I believe it is, but each one of her books, she takes her kids on trips, and so they actually take kids on the trip with them in the books. Oh. And I think it's amazing because for us to have grown up together, be in school together, they started their first cartoon series last year. About 4 or 5 months ago, their first cartoon series. And so now they're taking kids on their adventures by cartoon. So I think that's awesome. So plenty of opportunity there for kids, especially in the environment we're growing in now, or we're in right. Yeah, it's so many different opportunities for us to teach kids. And Jerry and I were just talking about this. We were just talking about how children or our culture, we're not aware of domestic abuse, emotional abuse, where we're not taught these type of things. Does your book go into that at all?
Well, my children's book, Eureka Teaches, it's kind of, I am writing for the younger audience because my middle name is Eureka. So that character is based on the 7 and 8-year-old me. And it's kind of lessons that, like, every kid can relate to. It's lessons about bullying, lessons about races, different races and different types of families, disabled kids. It's just a lot of lessons that kids can relate to, and then it's solutions that kids will understand and then adults will appreciate. So I have some neat formatting also that I'll be incorporating into the books as well.
Okay. You know what I find interesting is that with the kids now, we also have to teach the parents. So before it was like you understood that the parents know, they may just need some help. Now we're teaching the parents as if they are the children. It's not strange to me, but it's kind of, I talk about these commercials that we used to have, like, this is your drug, this is your this is your brain, this is, what is it? This is your brain on drugs. Or, the 90210s. That was my favorite TV show. So shows that would teach us how to, say no to drugs, certain things that people would watch their friends doing. And now you have Atlanta Housewives and you have Housewives of California. And you have all these different TV shows that show our youth what the world is supposed to look like right now. But it's not just the youth. Their parents are doing the same thing. So now you have mother and daughters running around dressed alike, going to the same clubs, drinking at the same bars, and there's no one teaching, teaching the next generations of
we
people.
teach on a 6th grade level so that we know that the adults are understanding as well. So everyone is taught on that level.
I love it. I love it. So what do you want people to get out of your book?
Well, what I would like for people to get out of it is the different stages of grief. There are just so many ways to handle it, and you can grieve not just because someone died. There's many things that people grieve from. So I want people to kind of read those and look at the different lessons that I give at the end of each chapter. And so I'm hoping they get a little entertainment out of it and also some knowledge out of it.
Okay. Now, what do you think the top three levels of grieving? What would you say the top 3 are?
The top 3 would probably be the denial. We go through that with just about in any stage of grief. We first experience the denial, and then the anger and the bargaining.
Yeah. What's the bargaining?
Well, the bargaining is, like in one of my stories I have where, I guess with bargaining, you're trying to kind of make a bargain with God. Like, if you give me this, then I'll do better with this. If you let this person live, I'll give up this. It's another way of trying to, resolve your grief.
That's really good. That's really good. So you do go deep. Do you go in steps in the book, or do you just kind of go from chapter to chapter? Okay. Amazing. That's amazing. So anyone reading the book will be able to say, here's where I am right now, if they were not able to identify it before then.
I do the 5 stages, but each story can stand alone on its own.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. What do you want people to know about you personally as the author?
Me personally, I'm kind of I like to have fun. I'm kind of a daredevil, which is why my husband coined the term daredevil Bama girl. I just like to enjoy life, and I like to just do, relax and do what I love doing.
Well, I saw your pictures, and you like to have fun. I saw that, and it's good fun, though. It's good fun. I love the fact that you, like I said, it looks like you're very family-oriented. I saw the pictures gone wrong. What was that? The poses. I saw the poses going wrong.
Oh, wow. We were trying to do the Charlie's Angels pose, and my sister-in-law kind of dropped it like it's hot. So
you're like, forget this. I'm going to just drop it like it's hot. The other person's like, I'm going to stand right here. And the other person in the middle is just like, it is what it is. I'm just going to stand right here. And you figured I'm just going to drop it, and we're going to make this picture work. But I love it, and it shows a lot about what family means to you. What does family mean to you?
Oh, family is, God first, but family is like the most important thing to me. But definitely put God first.
And I think the thing that I really want to try to get across to people is that we are losing a lot of our family. Just community and family. I remember when I was growing up how we used to be outside playing double dutch, and the boys were like chasing the girls, and it was just a lot of fun happening. And now in this life, it's just a lot of grief. Like your book says that there's a lot of grief, and there's
people
a lot
don't
of
get
people
outside
who
as much as they used to. It's just so much internet and computer and technology that we're not getting together like we used to. We're not playing the board games or the hopscotch and all of that kind of stuff. Everybody's into their cell phones and iPads. So, yeah, I see that a lot.
And it's unfortunate because our reality is this. That's life as we know it today.
Yeah.
I used to hear about internet when I was like in the maybe 6th grade, and I used to hear about internet, and I used to hear about phones. And I remember thinking, the Jetsons, they were like, and this time, it's going to be flying cars, and you see those things and go, that's not true, And we had Nintendos. Nintendo was my favorite game, but we had games, but we had time frames that we could play the games, and then Saturday morning cartoons, like you couldn't wait until Saturday morning because you knew like your Saturday cartoons were going to come on.
Right.
And so, so do you think that a lot of the grief that people go through now, it could be impacted by a lot of the social media? I mean, of course there's life events like death and loss of jobs and friends.
A lot of the things they see on the news daily, it's always something bad.
Yeah. And so what would you give, what type of advice would you give for someone who might be going through grief and may not even know? I know your book is going to tell a lot about it, but for those who haven't read the book yet, what are some of the signs that you would say we should be looking for, whether it be a family, whether it be a family member ourselves, children? What signs do you think, or could you give us that we should be looking for someone who's grieving and we don't know?
Just kind of look for people they're kind of withdrawing from family and friends. They're alone most of the time. I am developing currently a protocol for grief, and it's kind of based on religion and also medical solutions. But for now, I would just keep an eye out on, if they're sad, they're sleeping more than usual, or if they have insomnia, they're awake, more than usual. Just, someone deviating from their typical behavior. Kind of look out for that. They're not eating. Their, appetite is down. Kind of look out for things like that. And they're not talking or sharing as much as they used to or as much as they could. Kind of just look out and be an ear for somebody, be there for them. Don't tune them out. Kind of tune out the social media for a while. Just play board games. We turned our phones off. We were in Atlanta for the Super Bowl events, and we
and you didn't come see me.
Board games.
I'm here in Atlanta. You didn't come see me.
I'm sorry. We had a good time. We hung out with Joe Torre. He beat me in pool. But we really
it was
had
crazy
fun.
here this past weekend.
It was. We were there with
Crazy.
my husband's group, WRB group invited us there, and so we were staying in a home with Joe Torre and some retired football stars, but we had an awesome time.
Good. Now, tell us a little about your husband. He's your manager, so tell us about him. We don't want to leave him out.
Oh my God, he does so much. It's so hard. I often, like, people ask, what does he do? I have no idea. He's into everything. He works with Momentum Media, and he's a business developer. So he kind of works with crypto coins and Bitcoins. He does so much. He works with WRB Group, so he has at least 2 or 3 companies that he's working with. He's a retired, he has multiple sclerosis, so he had to retire from nursing. So he's kind of doing what he loves. He's writing books. He's doing probably what he should have been doing all along, but he was in nursing for about maybe 18 years before he got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Wow. Well, I definitely know that he is a supporter. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff in the inbox, and he was on it. So
yeah,
he's definitely
I don't even know
someone
how
that
he
supports
finds the time to support me.
He does it. He does it. He
Yeah.
does it. I was surprised. I wasn't sure at first if it were you or him, and so when I finally realized it was him, I was like, okay, he is on it. He's on it. So shout out. His name is Mr. Willie, right?
Willie Stewart. He's my biggest fan.
Shout out to
Willie
Mr. Willie
Stewart.
Stewart. Willie Stewart. I was about to say Jerry's gonna. I was just gonna say Jerry's gonna come on in a second because we said his name, and guess what happened?
Well, I got a question. I got a question for her.
I'm here in the background, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm good, Willie. Good to hear from you, brother. Thanks for having your wife on our show. But I got
Awesome.
big.
I wanted to give you a personal thank you on the air, too, for doing that video, man. Some of my most important friends, and you were among them, gave that congratulations to her when she finished nurse practitioner school.
Amen.
So you were among the billionaires and multimillionaires and executives and stuff that took the 15 seconds out of their time to say congratulations to her. So
You're
thank
welcome.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, I was really happy. That kind of made my day.
Yeah, Batman. We on it. We up anyway, so why not? Why not support our people, right? All right. I got a question for you, Shannon. You talked a lot about, people going through grief, I guess mostly dealing with lost loved ones and maybe losing a lot of money, who knows? But also, I noticed, with children, depending on where they are in their age, like younger kids tend to handle loss of a grandparent or even a pet a lot better than we adults. But it seems like when they get to a certain age, it kind of changed. Because I know when my son lost his first pet, which was a very close pet for him, he's like he took it hard, but then he kind of bounced back really, really fast after, we said, oh, okay, we're going to get you another pet. We just didn't know what it was going to be yet. Do you find kids handle death a little better or circumstances better than adults?
I think they do. Kids are more resilient. I think the life experience that as adults have, I think it makes the loss worse. And as adults, we're faced with our own mortality. Whereas kids, they're still young, they're still growing, and they're just more resilient than we are about loss.
Mm-hmm. They are. Because I was kind of like, didn't know really what to do when he lost his pet. Because he had the pet for a long time. It was like 5-6 years. And, figure it was, he had the pet as long as he probably could remember, having a pet. And I was just wondering, I know some of us are still trying to get used to the loss of a very close aunt or uncle, or cousin, somebody you grew up with all your life,
Right.
Yeah. So I was
we had our own, when our kids were younger, we would have funerals in the backyard for their pets, and that kind of helped them get over it a little bit easier as well.
That's what we did, too.
I think we had a funeral for every pet, even the fish.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of fish, now my son, when he lost his bunny, we actually buried his bunny in the backyard. He hadn't said anything about it lately because I kept saying I was going to get a headstone, but I never did find one. But my daughter,
He probably just wants another bunny.
Yeah, I know. So, he wanted a dog. So anyway, when my daughter lost her fish, I said, oh my God, her fish is this. She's going to be so upset. So I went out and got another fish. It wasn't the exact fish, but it was the same color. But she came home and she looked and said, Daddy, where's my fish at? Where's Rainbow? I was like, that's not him. I was like, uh-oh. I said, it is him. He just changed. So she didn't go for it. She said she never went for that excuse. So anyway,
that wasn't her fish.
Yeah, she knew that wasn't her fish. She knew Daddy switched it out. She said, what happened to my fish? I was like, that is him. I know, it was so cute.
You're smart.
She was very smart. I think she was only like 5. Couldn't get over on her.
Oh my God. It reminds me of the Cosby Show when Rudy lost her fish.
They try to switch it out and she ain't go for it.
They had a little bathroom funeral.
Yeah, they did. I remember that episode.
Yeah.
I know, kids. You're right. And of course, we did make a promise to get him another pet, and it ended up being a dog, who I became very fond of. So he, like I said, they do bounce back pretty fast.
They
All right.
do.
Well, thank you for that, and we appreciate having you on the show, and look forward to some more books coming out too. And we hope this book do really, really, really well, and I hope to get my book back so I can get to read it. I know.
Well, thanks a lot. Thank you guys for having me.
You just have to get another book.
I gotta get another book. Yeah.
You have to get another book.
Because I like hard copies.
I don't think you're going to get the book back.
And they did great promotions on the book, too, because it was offered free as a Kindle, which I was trying to get, but my iPhone was acting funny. It always acts funny when it's time for me to get something free. So I ended up saying, bumping, I want a hard copy. I'm just going to buy the book. So, to support them. So I went. And then it came rather fast, too. I mean, I think it came like in a day, Prime Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime is quick.
Yeah, they don't play.
I just ordered one myself for a family member. It's really quick.
Now, I got another question, too, about the book order. Now, Lekeisha Mosley just released a brand new book, and she said she was trying to order them in bulk, and it's like taking forever. But when she ordered them single copies, they come like 1 or 2 days. Why do you do that? Well,
it may depend on the distributor, too. That may be what's going on.
Okay. So you hear that, Lekeisha? So it depends on who. So I guess whoever they distribute. Because they're all over the place. They bought up so many printing companies. So I guess it depends on who's going to handle the big order. Because it's all digital anyway, what they're doing. Because I was in the printing industry. We went digital when we was dealing with the posts and the pre-orders. Mm-hmm. All right. But thank you. Well, you have one last question for Shay before we let her go?
Well, I do want to ask where everyone can find her.
Oh, okay. You can find me at www.whitecoatwoman.com. Also, I also have a Facebook page, Daredevil Bama Girl, with a U for girl. And then I'm on Instagram as well as Daredevil Bama Girl. And I'm on Twitter, and I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere.
That's right.
Yes, you are, and I will be following you on all your sites, and we'll have that on the live feed as well.
Yeah, I did
drop. Thank you.
Yeah, I dropped the trailer, and Shannon does look like a model. I'm like, is that Shannon in her picture with the book, or maybe that's a model? They hired a model.
Thank you, guys.
You saved some money, so you didn't have to hire a model. Good for you. All right. All right, so I guess that wraps up the show on Positive Power on Late Night with Jervis Live. And we hope if you guys ever in the area, now we're going to be having a big event in April real soon. We're going to give people more details. We'd like to invite anybody who's interested in coming out in the Atlanta area, so we will let you guys know. For all the time, I can't announce anything right now, but I can just let you know it's going to happen because I'm about to buy my ticket. So it's going to happen. Where? Still up in the air, but it's going to happen. Right, Shay? I guess Shay's still there.
It's happening.
It's going to happen.
I'm here. It's happening.
Right. Going to happen. All right. So any final words, Shannon, to our audience? Anything else you want? Any encouraging words for people going through grief who has read your book?
Well, actually, thanks for listening, you guys, and just read my book, and I hope you find some good lessons out of it. Because like I said, there is at the end of each story a kind of a lesson about each different stage of grief. So hopefully it helps someone.
Yeah. Amen. That's right. It's tough out here. All right. Any final words, Shay, before we close out the program? We moving into...
Of course I do. I have one more question for Mr. Willie and for Shannon.
Okay.
Did you feel the power? Did you feel the power? Did you feel the power?
Yeah.
Amen, amen,
Amen.
amen.
All right.
Positive21.org. Internet radio.
All right. Way to sing it, Shay. Thank everybody for tuning in. That was Willie and Shannon Stewart. Go out to their page. Check them out. Willie got a lot of businesses. I'm sure it's one of them you can get involved with. So check them out at Willie L. Stewart with a T. That's right. Check him out. Appreciate them coming out and spending some time with us. I know they was having a ball what they were doing, but they came out and spent some time with Positive Power. We appreciate that. Stay tuned, 11 o'clock, y'all. We got Blue Flame Moment. That's right, with Clarita Haddon Jackson. All right, take it easy, everybody. So don't go nowhere. We're on YouTube Live right now, so if you want to go out there and catch us on YouTube, we're out there on YouTube Live. Or you go out to Spreaker Radio, just type in Jervis Live on Spreaker Radio. You get the live feed 24 hours, yo. We got some brand new music we're about to play. This one is by Perfecto, and this one is called Not My Life.
They tell me, pro man, you done made it. You done came up from the bottom. You successful in the things we striving for. My dude, you got 'em. I said you stand corrected, cause I just can't take that credit. I ain't nothing, I'm just someone who believes the one that did it. Yeah. This is my life. This ain't my life. I bought with a price that's right. This isn't my life. This ain't my life. I'm full of that light, no night. This isn't my life. This ain't my life. He picked me back up, showed me his love. Rescued the thug, I've been washed by the blood. Don't sit there and tell me that wasn't enough. There ain't nothing like this feeling that I'm feeling. I'm forgiven. I once was lost, but now I'm found. And boy, I'm glad I'm living. I should've died on Benson, man. I should've died in prison. But God, he picked me up and filled my cup, and now I'm sipping, sipping. Look at my life, you see that I'm blessed, huh? Came up out of the mess, huh? A beautiful wife, the beautiful son, huh? You can see I done came up. Homie, that's favor. He said I'm the salt of the earth, that's flavor. I'm sending my praises up, cause nothing I do will ever repay him. Buy me a house, I'm fresh out of debt. Credit scores is 740, that's no brag, I give God the glory. You wouldn't hate if you knew my story. I wasn't smart then,